Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 505, recorded, what is today? November 28th. 28th, there it is. Happy Thanksgiving, America. Happy Turkey Day. Gobble, 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 y'all. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Nintendo Dads podcast, and hey, I'm running a solo show today. I'm your host, Justin Masson, and they have let me loose with the microphone, as they do every single year, because, like I said, it's Thanksgiving in America, and I'm not in the U.S., so it's just what we in Canada would typically call Thursday. So here we are, Thursday, and I'm going to run a solo show. So we've got some content to talk about. Not a lot, but I've got a lot of questions from the community I'm going to answer as well. And I always get to play with my soundboard, which is fun. It's exciting. You never know what button I'm going to hit. So this will be a real journey for all of us. And typically, Jesse will have to fix something in post, but here we are. I digress. It's, how am I doing? You know, it's the end of November. It's almost December. I don't know about you, but I just feel like the constant pressure of the holidays just creeping up on me. It reminds me of like that meme of, you know, Henry Cavill sort of at like some premiere event, and then Jason Momoa is like just creeping up, and like the Henry Cavill picture would just be like, my happiness. And then the thing creeping up from behind me would be the holidays, which inevitably, man, I don't know. It's always so much expectations and peak consumerism, which super annoys me. It's just, I don't know. I find those things sort of frustrating. Now, that being said, like, I'm also part of the Dads After Dark present exchange, which is pretty cool. I like that. There's some community going on there. Big shout out to that, which I appreciate. I got my name, so I have to go get a gift for them. That's exciting stuff. But I think like everything just spins up around this time. My daughter's play starts next week, so we're hosting family and friends to come see it. All great things, but like in a season of chaos, it's just more chaos, right? And so like I'm looking at my calendar on the fridge, and man, I don't feel like we get respite till like middle of December, and then it's just like, is that too late, right? Are we at that point just sort of spinning our tires and hoping for things to happen? So I don't know. That's nonetheless, I digress. It's where we are. But yeah, it's going all right. It's Great White North up here in Canada. It's cold. It's about minus 14 currently in Celsius. And again, if you are an American or somewhere else that doesn't have Celsius, I am not converting that for you. Figure it out for yourself. You made a decision as a country to stay with your own system, so that's on you. That's not on me. Yeah, but I you know, here we are. Not a lot of news typically this week, by the way, but there is some things that we're going to partial out and sort through and have a discussion about. So, also like, I'll put this up front. I do this every year. Every year I have people who are like, Justin, man, I would have been happy to be on the episode with you, and just ask me all the time. I love the fact that people want to be on an episode with me. Thank you for that. Thank you for volunteering. Traditionally, like, I just find whatever time I can in the day between everything else I'm doing to try and squeeze this in. So I feel like this is like I'm taking my lunch break, and so this is what I'm going to do it. And so, yeah, like, I appreciate you doing that, and it's not a you thing, it's definitely a me thing. Like, I can't manage my calendar and my schedule effective enough to be able to host those things well. So I apologize for that, but here we are, so thank you. Hey, let's jump into the news, shall we? This is where I get to press buttons. Let's see what happens. And the news is brought to you by me touching that button. Me touching buttons, touching more, bump, bump. That was my tried rendition of like Sweet Caroline, but related to pressing Steam Deck buttons. I don't think it went as well as I wanted it to, but here we are. Yeah, the news is brought to you by you wonderful folks over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. You really legitimately help us keep the mics and the lights on. Your funding is in support, whether it's $1 a month or up to the $30 tier a month as well, is just absolutely critical for us to be able to do the things that we love to do, including giving away games, giving away consoles, supporting some of the amazing events that we do. As a matter of fact, later this weekend, if you're listening to this now, this weekend, both Marty and Tim are doing their Extra Life campaign, and we're giving away over $200 of eShop credits during that event to help encourage and support people to donate funds to the Extra Life campaign. And that's where some of those funds come into, is to allow us to be able to do that really effectively, to give away prizes, to try and involve our community. And to provide opportunities for us to be exposed to some of the additional content we provide, like obviously going to PAX East in 2025. So we greatly appreciate that. And I understand that in this time, of season, like, hey, listen, money is tight and it's challenging, but we appreciate everything, whether that's through Patreon, whether that's through Twitch subs. And hey, if you're not able to support that way, that's 100% fine. We just appreciate you being here. The support you provide in regards to posts, reposts, engaging our community, supporting, subscribing, those are all things that matter in different ways and help us to continue to grow our team and our organization and continue to do the things that we hopefully you enjoy. So yeah, thank you for that. I greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's jump into the news. Not a lot, as I had sort of said, because of the fact that it is the week of Black Friday. So traditionally, like, Nintendo of America gets kind of really quiet. Everyone kind of like buggers off for a little bit of time. I do want to like pull a couple things that I want to reference here. And actually, I'm going to share my screen. So if you are watching on YouTube, you can see one of the big things that actually came out this week. And this is actually from, what page is this from? This is from tomsguide.com. And the reason is I just couldn't find any other sites that were doing this rumor. But I had seen this rumor quite frequently this week. This is regarding the Nintendo Switch 2 release. And so interestingly enough, still people want to know exactly what we can expect from the Switch 2 successor. And a new leak from Centro Leaks via Screen Rant claims that Nintendo will officially reveal the Switch 2 in January next year with a release in March. So first and foremost, yes, January is what I've been saying. It makes logical sense. Everyone has been like, and again, I've said this before, if you are a Nintendo pundit right now, it is like the amount of videos of the things, I've got the leaked information and it's coming out next week. And we've seen the pundits like move it from September to October. Oh, it's going to be this week. It's going to be this week. No, it wasn't. Right? It's going to be January. And so I would definitely agree that I think January is the most logical point for it to actually get our official announcement and reveal. I suspect probably the back half of January is probably where we'll end up seeing that. I don't know if and now the release in March. Now, again, these would all be true statements. The president of Nintendo did say I can never say that name. The president of Nintendo of Japan did say by the end of March 31st, 2025. So January definitely fits in there. He at no point told us when that it was going to be released in that fiscal quarter. The other part of it that I would say is that the projections that they provided in regards to their sales projections did not seem to include a new Switch successor in relation to what they were projecting their hardware sales would be associated with. Not to say they can't come out in March, just saying that they did not include that. That if they had included that, then we all would have said, okay, well, it's going to be up before the end of March. I think this would be interesting if it's revealed in January and then released in March. That's a really aggressive, like probably 2-month time cycle. Probably 6 to 8 weeks. I think that would be great. I think the fact that, and again, Nintendo can release a Nintendo Switch 2 successor whenever they want, and I don't really think it's going to matter. Like it doesn't need to be in the holiday season. They can literally drop it whenever, and it's going to be just fine. And they sort of demonstrated this when they launched the original Switch in March of 2017, right at the beginning of. It was like the first Friday on a March, and it did incredibly well. I think the other part of this is that, to me, if that cycle time is that short, it sort of indicates that when we think of a company having to introduce a new system, you need to spend a lot of time telling us more and more what it does for us to understand the value proposition and sort of begin to shift our minds from what we are currently existing or aware of to what the future state would be and help close that gap, right? So you have more information, you have more directs, you have more commercials, you have more advertisement to really assist in that movement. To me, this sort of indicates, if indeed it's true that we go from January to March, that the changes, the adjustments do not require as much of a substantial education to the consumer to help them purchase or to help them move from I don't know if I want this platform to a decision of, yes, I indeed do want this platform. And I think that this rings very true to the commentary that we heard originally from the president, which is, think of it more like the next version of the Switch, right? I can't remember what the exact titling was, but essentially it's not a brand new, completely different. We're not changing the game completely. It's sort of the next iteration of what we currently have, which I think is sort of what we as consumers would want or are anticipating. And I think this also aligns with sort of some of the things that we've heard, which is it's backwards compatible. Okay, so if it's backwards compatible, then it's taking the same cartridges most likely, or a different spot for cartridges similar. And if we know that some of it's backwards compatible, some games specifically require Joy-Cons to be. So I think that you start to begin to create a narrative that, like, I think ultimately what we're going to see is sort of what we all want, which is the Super Switch, right? The next versioning of it with a better hardware, internal guts, all of those pieces. So I think this would be very, very interesting. Now, the question ultimately comes down to is Centro Leaks, does he have a track record for these being true? Is it correct? Interestingly enough, I mean, again, it is all hearsay. He does have a pretty solid track record for actual being correct in these sort of announcements. So it'll be very interesting to see if indeed this does end up coming to fruition. So, and again, I will say, like I had kind of mentioned, that January is where I think it most logically ends up making sense. So yes, I do suspect that's what's going to happen. So nothing too crazy there. Talk about a couple other pieces of content that dropped out this week that you should be aware of. And I'm just scrolling through Nintendo's Twitter feed now. That's what we do. Let's head over to Nintendo of America's Twitter feed. That's literally where I'm going to get my news this week for you that we're going to discuss. New icons are available in the My Nintendo store that you can pick up. There are some for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. What else happened that you should be aware of? Oh yeah, there were some Nintendo Switch Online games released. So for the classic Sega Genesis system, 3 games were revealed. ToeJam and Earl in Panic on Funkatron, Vector Man, and Wolves of Battlefield. Interestingly enough, my wife and I she played ToeJam and Earl in Panic on Funkatron when she was younger, and so we actually booted up and played it for like 20 minutes, and it's a horrible game. It's just, why would you do that? Let's see what else we got here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there it is. Donkey Kong Country, or Donkey Kong Land 2 became available on Nintendo Switch Online, which is the Game Boy game. Now, obviously, the week earlier, Donkey Kong Land was announced as well. Listen, I'm sort of living my best life, the best universe that I'm currently in right now, which feels like we're getting a lot of Donkey Kong as we're leading up to the release in January of Donkey Kong as well. So a lot more information about Donkey Kong and a lot more kind of like loving on Donkey Kong is happening, which I am all about and I'm excited for. A very cool book was revealed through Piggyback Guides, which is, and this is interesting, pumped to reveal our first art book in collaboration with Nintendo. Metroid Prime 1 and 3, a visual retrospective, celebrates the art of the series covering Metroid Prime 1 and 3 and remastered with exclusive insight from the game developers. Coming summer of 2025. Oh, really? Really? You're releasing a art book inspired by Metroid in summer of 2025 that talks about Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3. 1 we know is remastered and available. 2 and 3 is not. And we know Metroid Prime 4 is on the horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, we can maybe write it down that my speculation is in 2025, you're going to get Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remastered. As we lead up to Metroid Prime 4. Again, this also, by the way, shouldn't be a shock. I kind of said this before, right? Is that as we lead up to 4, you want more and more people to be involved in it. And they're having success. And the fact that this is collaborated with Nintendo, it's got Nintendo's blessing. Interestingly enough, this was reposted from Nintendo of America's account. These are all really good scenes that Nintendo is spending some time in the Metroid space. P.S. If you are, I sent this over to Tim. Whoever's got Tim for Secret Santa, just get him this book. All right, just get him this book, send it to him. He'll be happy as can be. But this looks incredible. I definitely want to take a look at it when it comes up as well. Let's talk about Black Friday deals. I've actually got a couple of them. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Got a couple of those deals open right now. Speaking of, let's go over to our Black Friday deals. Let's talk a little bit about that. And again, I'm going to provide some information for those of you that are in the US of A. I don't know why I did that voice. Some places to think about if you're looking at maybe getting some sweet, sweet deals. Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop, and London Drugs. And they have got the Nintendo Switch OLED model, which includes the system, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and 12 months of Nintendo Switch Online. You've got just the regular one that includes the exact same thing I mentioned before. Of course, not really on deal, but the Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition. Remember how we talked about meeting the sales numbers? You have to move consoles if you want to inevitably beat the PlayStation 2 and being the number one selling game. How are you going to do that? You need to get people to move consoles. You need to have cuts in sales, or you need to put out special editions. There's our special edition in September. And of course, we are trying to bundle and make a deal for all these other packages as well. So we'll see what happens there. Mario, you know what? These are actually, I apologize. The price that I'm showing here are actually connected over to Canada, which is great. Awesome. I love that. So yeah, some great deals out there. Check them out, folks. If you are looking to buy a Switch for someone or looking to buy some software, there are some deals out there for you to grab. Let's talk about some deals that are on the eShop. Let's talk about those really quickly here. Some sales. Tears of the Kingdom is 28% off digitally, so check that out. Again, these are some cyber deals I want to call attention to. Hogwarts Legacy Digital Edition, 70% off. And again, I'm going to give some Canadian price here. Regularly $90 on for $27. Illusion Island, Disney Illusion Island. This is one of my favorite games of 2023. If you didn't pick it up, it's 30% off. I think you should definitely look at picking that up. Let's scroll through what else I got here. I talked about... one second here. All right. Sorry, I had something that came through I had to look at. Let's continue here what I was discussing, which is some great deals. Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope, 67% off. Take a look at that. Epic Mickey, we talked about that one before. Xenoblade Chronicles. We're going to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We're doing that in December. Now might be time. Listen, if you want to join us for this kind of like this play along book club thing that we're doing for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. They've got the other Xenoblade Chronicles available here as well. They got Definitive Edition. There's 2. Red Dead Redemption. I've thought about that one a couple times. Never pulled the trigger on it. Bayonetta Origins. That's really good. Check that one out. I like that one a lot, actually. I thought I saw it. Captain Toad is always great. 30% off. Don't sleep on Captain Toad. Yeah, here's the expansion pack for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Tora. Where's 3? I was sure 3 was in here. Come on. Good job. Here's a funny game. This game was released in 2020. I downloaded it and have never turned it on. Never played it. Like, this was such a, let me get a hold of that. And I did, and I didn't play it. And it looks like a chaos fun game, sort of like Overcooked. I should have done that. I don't know why I haven't. I'm a jerk. Live Alive. I don't know, however you say that. It was fun. I like that one. That was 30% off. Not bad. Astral Chain. Where is Astral Chain 2? Look at me. You need an Astral Chain 2. Cuphead is great. Oh, and there's the Delicious Course. 28% off. Do that one. Borderlands. Borderlands is good. I mean, this is a great deal. 75% off the whole collection. There's a ton in there. I think it's Borderlands, all of them. What's in there, actually? Let's take a look at that. I gotta verify my age. Are you kidding me? I don't like these. It's not even 1989, by the way. I just like punching dates at this point. And it's not January 1st, so what's all in this thing? It's all in the Borderlands collection. 6 acclaimed games. Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, Borderlands the pre-sequels, Tales from the Borderlands, and Tales from the Borderlands. The new Tales from the Borderlands as well as, yeah. It's a great deal. It's 80% off. So like $40 versus $200 is a good deal, 80%. But I can tell you, those games are a little bit challenging on the Switch for sure. Takes Two. Yeah, that's a good, like I played a little bit of that. Braid I picked up this year. Played a little bit of that. That actually broke my brain a bit. Diablo 3, 67% off. I actually got a copy of Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, and I don't think I even turned it on. We got like 2 codes, and I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. I don't even have turned it on. I'm a bad person. I thought Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Remember Trombone Champ? 45% off. Something to think about. Alan Wake, 75% off. That's a great deal. I played a bit of Alan Wake, but it struggled a little bit. Disco Elysium, I have thought about this one a lot of times. Um, a lot of like talkie, and I don't necessarily like talkie games. I want to like get into it. And so this has been like, I've heard so many great things about it, but I just like, yeah, no. Scott Pilgrim versus the World for less than like $7. That's pretty good. What else we got in here? Bolt gun. What else? What else? I thought Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was on sale. Hold on a second. Hold on just 1 second. Xenoblade. I said right in Xenoblade. I have Xeno Crisis, by the way, actually. And I never... I backed that for something. I did. I backed that for... I think it was a Kickstarter? I think that sounds right. So here's the expansion. Okay, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and the expansion pass. Is that on sale too? That's got to be on sale, right? Taking your sweet time loading. It's not? What? Interesting. I have actually 3 and the expansion pass. Put about an hour into it. I thought it would be on sale. I don't know. Maybe check. Maybe I don't know. Maybe real retailers will have it on sale. I don't know. There's some good sales out there for sure, folks. So like, make sure you check out what's available. But yeah, like I mean, listen, like scroll through your eShop. There's a ton there. Let's check out what else in the news we can chat about. Going over to Nintendo Life. Dave the Diver sold 5 million copies. That sounds about right. Yeah. That was. I really loved Dave the Diver last year. It was a great game. I think you should check it out. Dauntless. I really liked Dauntless. By the way, if you're still playing that, they have a major overhaul next week. I've stopped playing that about 3 or 4 years ago. Other things caught my attention. What else should we talk about? Yeah, 6-2 games you should pick up. This is for Europe. Come on. Oh, yeah. Power Rangers Rita's Rewind was slightly delayed for the Switch, and this version also won't support online play at launch. That's tough, because there's a lot of people who are pretty excited for that one, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, this is funny. As the Switch closes the gap officially, close the gap close to the PlayStation 2, Sony officially confirms the PS2 has sold over 160 million units. So they're just moving their marker a little bit. Good for them. As the Switch gets closer and closer. I mean, ultimately, Sony doesn't want Nintendo to overtake them. But like, yeah, it's gonna happen. But like, real interesting timing to make that decision to say, oh no, it's actually a little bit closer than we thought. Or a bit further away. Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country the entrance was revealed. That opens on December 11th, and some people got to go and check that out. So that's cool. What else? Oh yeah, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom has been added to the official timeline, the official Zelda timeline. Where does it fit? Does they actually talk about this? It files Zelda's new adventure under the Hero is Defeated timeline, which places it after the Triforce Heroes and before the decline of the Hyrule Kingdom. Okay. Yeah, so here is the kind of the actual timeline there. The hero is defeated. And so Echoes of Wisdom is putting that. It's interesting that they kind of keep adding. Where's the link to this thing? There's got to be a link to it. Heroes defeated timeline. Let's load that thing up. It's interesting that they I mean, whenever they do a Zelda game, this is always part of the question, which is like, where does it add? Where is it added? Where is it part of? I don't know if people people obviously super care about that, but I'm like, I don't know. I just play the game and it's fun. That's all I got to do. Right? That's all we got to do about these things. So let's see here. It's taken a long time. Ooh, look at that. That's a fun artwork or fun motif. Look at that. That's cool. Okay, so we scroll down. So we go into Hero is Defeated timeline. Link to the Past, The Imprisoning War, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Triforce Heroes, Echoes of Wisdom. And then that goes into the decline of. So we go into Echoes of Wisdom. The hero Link set out to rescue Ganon. Okay. Interesting. Oh, look at that. There's movie sound work. Sounds? I'm gonna stop playing that, or else we're probably gonna get struck through YouTube. So we're gonna stop doing that one. That's kind of cool, though. Yeah, I mean, it's actually really. I've never actually been on this website. This is really dynamic and cool. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are separate. Do they not? Are they not part of the? They're part of the timeline. Are they not? I'm so confused about that. I don't know. Cool though. That's really cool. Actually, that's a very cool website. I like that. Games. The Legend of Zelda Portal, by the way, is what I'm on. Yeah. Man, there's just been some amazing stuff for the Switch for Legend of Zelda. Right? It's excited to see like what do they do next? Because they're cooking. They're cooking up the next Legend of Zelda. What is that exactly? But man, we have been spoiled between Echoes, Tears, Breath of the Wild. Man, it's hard to believe Breath of the Wild is like 8 years old next year. 8 years old. That is freaking crazy. So, yeah, folks, I think those are sort of. Is there anything else I'm missing here from the wonderful world of Nintendo's Twitter account? Oh, actually, one of the things I will mention, sorry, speaking of news, Fortnite, their new season is coming up here in the December 2nd. And it looks like they're... Oh, hold on a second. All right, I apologize. I am on dad duty today and got a call, so you got to take those things, right? So, speaking of interesting things, Fortnite has their next season is coming up. Where did I see this? There it is. It is Hunters. Launches on December 1st. Hunters. Now, it's got a very Japanese kind of aesthetic to it, right? And I just kind of think like, what other hunters could we maybe include here? Like a space hunter, like Metroid eventually? That would be super cool. But nonetheless, Fortnite. I'm still playing it, still loving it. We're going to have a question about Fortnite later as well. Folks, that's sort of the things that we've been talking about. Let's jump into, I don't know, what button am I going to press here? I'm going to press this one. Actually, no. Hold on. I'm going to press this one instead. What you been playing? I want to talk about quickly what I've been playing. I'll wait for that. Quickly what I have been playing. Continuing. Actually, I need to look at my Switch when I say this. Do this. Let me hold on a second. Just so I get it right. Okay. So I have been continuing to play Mario and Luigi Brothership. I'm about 13 hours into it now. Still liking it, playing through. 3 games I want to quickly talk about that I will have videos up on our channel about Let's Plays. First one is Nico Dorico and the Magical World. Now that is a mouthful. But the reason that you may want to pay attention to this is if you are a fan of Donkey Kong Country or Crash Bandicoot, this game has been mashed between the two. So much so that at times I'm like, how are you not getting sued? Because there feels like a lot of like copyright infringements. I love Donkey Kong Country. I love Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I'm excited for the new Donkey Kong, or not the new Donkey Kong, but the remastered Donkey Kong game in January. But Nico Dorico, the Magical World, is heavily inspired. Like, it feels like a Donkey Kong clone, and then it sort of moves from that 2D plane that you're used to into 3 dimensionals, and then all of a sudden it feels like a Crash Bandicoot game, which threw me back to when I was playing Crash Bandicoot when I was like university for my first couple of years and had a PlayStation. It's a ton of fun. I will say that it looks a little bit choppy and a little bit like pixelated, and I kind of use it like Vaseline textured on some of the characters. It definitely feels like it was not designed for the Switch, but ported to the Switch. And it shouldn't be a game that's struggling, but it definitely feels like, you can see some of the games you're like, oh, that looks really good on the Switch. This doesn't look great. It looks okay on the Switch. It plays okay on the Switch. It's going all right. But like it just doesn't feel. It feels like they've scaled down a little bit. Put on the Switch. Check that game out. I've got a first play, or let's first look at it. 2 other games that like just blew the top off me here. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna change my camera here. that I want you to direct you to. First one is Neva. Neva came out in early October or mid-October when I was traveling. I downloaded it, but just never actually had a chance to play it or capturing footage of it. I spent about 45 minutes playing this game. This is artistically a beautiful game. And you may have heard of Neva several times in the last little bit because it's been nominated for 3 different Game Awards or categories in the Game Awards. I apologize. Art style is beautiful. Sound design is incredible. Emotional story. The game says about 3.5 to 5 hours. That's kind of a broad brush there. I did about 30-minute playthrough and then I stopped because I was like, I don't want to ruin this for anybody else. And then after I stopped recording, I just kept playing it. Neva is really cool. This is also the team that brought you Grizz, Gris. I think that's how you say it. I've heard it said a whole different bunch of ways. Grizz, Gris. I don't know. I think I've said the same thing 3 times now. Nonetheless, check this game out. Neva. I think you'll see why people have put it in the Game Awards in the categories in. It's absolutely amazing and beautiful. Check it out. And I actually think for a while they had a bundle. You get Grizz and Neva for like $30, I think. And I could be wrong on that one. Next one. 9 Souls. 9 Souls is out now, and 9 Souls is described as I'm gonna pull it up here on the old Nintendo Switch eShop for you. Console game. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen again. All right, so 9 Souls is a Sekiro-like 2D action game with heavily enriched, I would say, Metroidvania elements. It is, a 2D action platformer Metroidvania developed by Red Candle. This game, I'm going to actually just open up the Wikipedia because they do a great job of it. The game is set in an Asian fantasy-inspired futuristic world with descriptions of Teopunk, a combination of Taoism and cyberpunk, and it is super, super cool. And the combat is really incredible. It reminds me of Bo Path the Teal Lotus that came out earlier this year that I played for a couple of weeks and then just like dropped off of because it just became like super stupid hard and difficult. But this game is like so cool. It like every part, it just like scratches all the pieces of Justin's like video game brain that I super enjoy. It is not for kids. Not for kids. It is gruesome very early on. But it is super cool. And so that's 9 Souls, 9, N-I-N-E, Souls, S-O-L-S. It's on the Switch eShop right now. Dude, if you are a Metroidvania fan, you like challenging games, kind of Asian fantasy, 2D action platformers, man, do it. I would say you should pick up 9 Souls, Neva, and then if you really want something a little bit different, then you can go over to Nico Dorico. But like those are the games that I've been playing, and I am in on 9 Souls and Neva for sure. Nico Dorico I'll get to eventually, I think. But like the other ones, boom. That's pretty incredible. Let's jump into community questions. Wait, where is that one? Listener mail. There it is. Okay. All right. So I have got some listener mail questions that came in via Discord. So I'm gonna hit these ones up. Okay. First one comes from Quagmire. Quag. Yeah. Okay. Justin, what is a game that you're looking forward to playing next month, and why is it Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Also, do you still play Fortnite? I just started last month, and I feel like I have a lot of people to apologize for trashing this game. Zero Build is awesome. First, welcome to Fortnite. I've been playing this game for like 7.5 years. My hour count is just ridiculous. I still play it. It's sort of like the default, like comfortable game that I go to. Mentioned it obviously in the news earlier today. But yeah, it's a game that I like. I love jumping on with folks, squatting up, playing, super approachable. So welcome. I love playing. Zero Build is also where I play. I am getting too old to do all the building. And then I have like this, like one of our family friends got like a 10-year-old and they're like, oh, you can't play build. You're trash. And I'm like, get out of here. All right. I've been playing video games for like 400% your age. So get out of here. But yeah, still been doing that. Why is it Xenoblade Chronicles 3? So actually, interestingly enough, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I don't know why, But like when Xenoblade Chronicles have always been a game that I've been sort of like, oh, that looks interesting. I like sort of, sometimes I like RPGs, JRPGs. Maybe I'll get into this one. And like I started like just got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 like on a great deal. And I was like, well, if I have 2, I should probably get 3. And then I got 3, and then I'm like, well, I should probably get the expansions. Then I got the expansions, and I'm like, I should go get the definitive edition. And so now I'm like down the rabbit hole, and by the way, I'll buy the one in March as well. But I've never really dove into it. So I think for December, just to being committed to saying like we're gonna do Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and play it together as a group, I think is actually kind of a cool like book club experience. So I'm excited to give that a shot. I'm not talking to you, Siri. Get out of here. Marty asks, on this week's show, what is the absolute worst video game you've ever played? What is the worst video game I've ever played? I'm going to tell you right now, the video game that irritated me the most recently was Metal Gear Slug's Tactics. As a matter of fact, I just got so angry. I didn't even record footage of it. I just got so angry at it. It was... The screen, the text was way too small. There was like sub menus that I had to get into to read, and it was like a tactics game. Like just let me get in there. Like you shouldn't be making this overly complicated and overly tutorialized. Like I just got angry. I was like, I'm stopping this. I'm not doing this. And like I'm a person who's like just like there's got to be a little bit of exposition in a game. That's fine, but like it was just it actually felt like I was being locked out. It felt like I was literally being locked out of playing and experimenting. And I think sometimes really good game design tutorializes you what you need to do. Do not throw up walls and walls of text at me and boxes of text that I have to read to understand how to play your game. That annoys me. And so good game design is I should be learning these as like you learn how to jump in Mario because a Goomba's coming towards you. That's your action. That's your understanding. And so I think that sometimes we just become way too in depth. And so that's a game that recently irritated me. The other game that really sort of like irritated me, not just a worst game, I think it was this year. I played Mum Simulator, and just like you just did tasks every single day, and it just felt like I felt so sad by the end of that game. If I'm being completely honest about like just life as a parent and as a mom and the perpetual like Groundhog Day scenarios they put you through, and that was heartbreaking. That's a weird one, though. Yeah. Okay. All right. Tim asks, it's November 23rd, 2034, and you're doing another Nintendo Dad solo episode because of Thanksgiving in America. Nintendo should be a year or two into the Switch's successor, bearing any Wii U catastrophes. And our Nintendo has a new pillar, AR, VR, holodeck. What games have you been playing? I've been playing Mario Kart 10 in virtual reality. And it's to a point that you like put on this vest that you have. And when you get hit with like a red shell or a blue shell, it actually like stops your body from moving for a couple moments, and you're just like frozen in that space. It's a real like immersive experience. The other one I've been playing is what else have I been playing? Mario Party virtually, which is pretty cool. You have to compete all of those activities by yourself in an experimental space. Tim, that's a great question, but my brain is just fried. I don't know. That's what I got for you. All right. John asks, what is a real world skill you learned from a video game? Oh my gosh, a real world skill from a video game, John? You know what's really funny? I'll actually give a great example here. When I first started playing rugby, I really struggled to actually understand I wasn't really coached well about what my job as a prop was that I was really supposed to do. I was supposed to be in lineouts, and I was supposed to be in scrums. But other than that, I sort of just like wandered the field aimlessly and didn't really understand what I needed to do. And I picked up Rugby 2004, I think, for my PlayStation 2 or whatever version it was. And you could actually like watch where the players were supposed to be going as set plays. And I actually really learned how I was supposed to play as a rugby player, as a forward prop, from watching video game footage, because you had to control players into certain spaces. And I was like, oh, the prop is supposed to go there. That makes a lot of sense. I'm not supposed to be out in the back line receiving the ball. I'm supposed to be crashing the ball and hitting rucks and mauls more effectively. Oh, okay. And so that actually really is where I learned actually how to be a little bit of a better rugby player, which is kind of a crazy statement. So that's a good question, though. I appreciate that. Hopefully that helps. I don't know. Okay. Trey asks, he did a few years ago, and I would look forward to a repeat of a possibly tipsy Justin show where he goes through the eShop or Black Fridays and points out good and bad games and really just comments whatever games he wants. Well, I hope I did that for you. I'm not tipsy today. I'm scheduling out time during my lunch break to do this, so I apologize for not being drunk. That sounds like a weird statement. Let's see what else we got in here. And again, this is all the I'm just going through my notifications for Discord. Oh, those are the big ones. Those are the big statements. Yeah. So, folks, that is sort of the show. I hopefully you've enjoyed this. I want to a couple things I want to throw your attention to. This weekend, Tim and Marty are playing for Extra Life. Extra Life is this year. We are trying to raise $5,000 for Extra Life, Children's Miracle Network hospitals. We play video games. So Tim and Marty are doing that. Please, if you can, support them. If you can financially, great. If you can't, just being in the chat and encouraging them is awesome. Sending them words of encouragement, just checking in with them. Those are awesome things. Please, that would be great. Even if you just have the screen going on the background, and you're not even active, it makes them feel like people are there, and it just energizes individuals to contribute and support more. So if you could do that, that would be freaking amazing. Listen, I don't have a document up. So I'm going to say this. Big thanks to our amazing Patreon producers. You know who you are. We are so thankful for all of you, all the work that you help us do, all the support that you provide us. Thank you to everyone who listens. I hope you're having an amazing holiday. I hope you're having an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope this time is actually joyful for you and brings energy for you and fills the cups that you need it to fill in yourself. Family can be challenging. Family can be tricky. And this can be a challenging time for individuals. And so I just hope you get from this what you want and what you need from it as well. Legitimately, thank you for everything that you do to help us every single month, support us every single month, and just are part of our awesome community. And so we're so thankful for that. It is incredibly hard to believe we've been doing this for 10 years and over 500 episodes. We would not be in this situation if it was not for our community. And so I cannot say to you how thankful I am for that. Thank you for everything that you do, every small interaction that you have with us, whether it's through Discord, Twitter, Facebook, subscribing, retweeting, just the private messages, everything. We are so thankful for you. And so, yeah, that's me being a bit, I just wanted to just take a moment and talk about that. Folks, listen, if you're new here, click like, subscribe, all of those things. I have outro music, actually. Hold on. There it is. There it is. Ooh. That is weird pace. I don't know what's going on there. If you're looking for all Nintendo Dads information, head over to nintendodads.org. You can find links to our social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're on TikTok? Yeah, we're on TikTok. Discord, Twitch, all that good stuff. You can pick up merch there if you want to. That's kind of interesting. You can check out some of the articles we've written, including our Nintendo holiday guide that maybe you should check out. It's a great thing if you're looking for gift ideas. Big thanks to OC Remix for some of the music we're playing throughout the show. And again, folks, take care of yourself. Be well. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.